If you have been facing rejection in your relationships, or if you are going through a relationship where you feel rejected, I can help you get all the way to commitment, because this is proven science. All relationships are science, and if you can understand how your subconscious mind works in any kind of relationship, you can completely reverse engineer the dynamics that you are currently in, and you can find commitment in those relationships, because all of our relationship dynamics are controlled by our subconscious mind. And if you have been consistently facing rejection, there is a higher probability that you might have fear of rejection. So I have designed this training program to help you get inside your subconscious mind, locate your fear of rejection, understand where it is, how you can remove it. And by the end of this training, you will have an action plan that will help you find commitment in your relationship. And that's a promise. And all I ask is just sit down, relax, and understand what I'm about to teach you, because this will completely change your life. And I have divided this training program into 3 parts. In part 1, we are going to focus on understanding where is this fear of rejection located inside your subconscious mind. I will help you understand how fear of rejection is born and how you can locate it inside your subconscious mind. In part 2, we are going to focus on how we can remove that fear of rejection, and I will teach you how you can remove it and how you can overcome it. And you will feel the shift in less than 2 to 3 minutes, because I am an instant healing hypnotherapist, and you will feel the shift instantly. In part 3, we are going to focus on the strategy plan that you need to start practicing from today, so that you can overcome this fear of rejection and you can find commitment in all your relationships. So this is a 3-part training program. I want you to sit down, relax, and let's begin. Now, before we can start our training, I want you to understand certain fundamentals. All relationships are a byproduct of what we are feeling inside. Our subconscious mind keeps attracting us to familiar experiences. That means whatever we are feeling inside, and all form of feeling is neurological state. So whatever neurological state we have inside our subconscious mind is something that we will consistently attract into our life. Now, there are several practices and spiritual practices that you might have heard of, such as law of attraction, law of vibration, law of resonance, law of assumption. In essence, each and every one of them talks about the same thing. It is, if you can get inside your subconscious mind and change the neurological state, you can change the outcome in your relationships. And this is exactly what I'm going to help you guys explore by understanding what is currently happening inside your subconscious mind. So let's start with fear of rejection, because fear of rejection is one of the primary factors that is making you attract rejection in your relationship. So we need to focus on understanding how is this fear of rejection born inside your subconscious mind, and how does fear operate, and how does fear take control of our relationship dynamic. And if we can understand that, and if we can locate that, we can resolve it instantly. Now let's start with understanding the birth of fear. Now, here are a few things we need to understand. Every fear starts from one emotional shock your subconscious mind couldn't process. The subconscious records the moment as danger, and it associates that danger to rejection, because we're talking about fear of rejection. So, we are going to be talking in the context of fear of rejection. It keeps replaying the same emotional pattern to protect you. Now, let me give you an example so that you can easily understand. Now, let's suppose you are afraid of spiders. Now, if you were to come across a spider right now, you will instantly feel that fear. But here is the thing I want you to ask yourself: is this fear something that you are feeling for the very first time? And the best question is, how do you know that you need to fear this spider? It is not a universal feeling, right? Because there are so many other people out there who do not even fear spider. So what makes it different for you and for them? For this, we need to understand our subconscious conditioning. This is because in your childhood, you might have come across a certain moment where your subconscious mind learned to associate spiders with danger or fear. And if you observe, this is the difference between someone who is afraid of spiders and someone who isn't. Now, the most interesting part is if you have fear of spider, you will consistently find spiders around you, or you might have more encounters with spider as compared to someone who doesn't fear it. That is our subconscious bias. Whatever we feel inside, our subconscious mind will focus on that. And in spiritual terms, you attract what you feel inside, and that feeling can also be negative. So that means if you have any kind of fear, you will attract that more into your life. But that fear that you feel when you look at a spider is not because this is the first time you are facing this situation. This is because your subconscious mind was conditioned to feel triggered anytime it encounters a spider. So that means your current fear that you experience when you encounter a spider is not your fear that you are feeling in this particular moment. It is something that you are replaying from your subconscious mind, and it is probably from your childhood. So that means anytime you feel fear, it is not because of what is happening in your external reality at any given time. It is because of what you faced as a child. That's when you learn that you need to fear it. So that means if we can locate that point of origin, or that memory where you first got introduced to the concept of fearing spider, we can actually remove this fear of spider. And that's the most interesting part. So this is how fear is born inside our subconscious mind. It is the very first encounter that we have with that situation, and our subconscious mind learns within that one particular moment that I need to feel afraid of something. So in your case, if you keep coming across rejection in your relationship, that means there might be a certain moment in your childhood when you first got introduced to this fear of rejection. Someone might have made you feel rejected, and your subconscious mind took that shock as a fear. And because of that, your subconscious mind keeps attracting rejection in your relationship. Now, let's understand the subconscious timeline. If we can understand the timeline of our subconscious mind, we can understand how to locate the point of origin or that first moment when we felt that fear. And if we can locate it, we can change it. The mind stores fear like bookmarks in time. Those bookmarks shape your relationship today. The first encounter with fear shapes our familiarity and response, and that is what we call the point of origin, exactly what we were talking about. Often linked to childhood moments of feeling unseen, unheard, or unloved. Now, let's try to understand what is our subconscious timeline. Now, according to our subconscious mind, our life is in a straight line. There is a point in time when we were born, and there is a point in time which is our present reality. And in between, there is a straight line that we have lived and the experiences that we have experienced in our life. Now, what we need to understand is between the ages of 1 to 9, now these are the ages when your subconscious mind is developing familiarity. And by that, I mean your subconscious mind comes to this world and it has no idea how this world functions. It has no idea what is going around. So, what it does is it starts learning through experiences. And whatever happens between the ages of 1 to 9, your subconscious mind develops familiarity with that. And if it develops familiarity with anything, whether it is good or bad, it will keep repeating again and again in your life. So that means on this subconscious timeline, between the ages of 1 to 9 is when our subconscious mind develops familiarity. And whatever happens after that, everything has a ripple effect that is influencing your current reality. That means anything good that happened between the ages of 1 to 9 will also have a ripple effect, and you might be experiencing that in your current reality. But however, if there was anything bad, such as fear, it will also have a ripple effect, and you will keep coming across those situations, people, and places that will trigger the same fear again and again. But the best part about your subconscious mind is if we can trick our subconscious mind to believe that a particular moment in your childhood never happened. What if we can remove that? What if we can remove the influence of that one particular moment that is creating a ripple effect? What's going to happen then? What's actually going to happen is any kind of trauma or fear has a lot of emotional intensity. Now, that emotional intensity anchors that particular fear in our subconscious mind. So, if we can go back to our childhood and if we can remove the emotional intensity of that particular moment, the ripple effect will collapse. That means your subconscious mind will no longer feel familiar with that fear, and as a result of that, that fear will end instantly and you will feel it. And then what's going to happen as a result of that is you will no longer attract that into your reality. Now, let's focus on the most important part, that is, how can we first of all remove the emotional intensity of any kind of fear? Now, for that, we need to understand lessons within fear. Every kind of fear is your subconscious mind trying to teach you a lesson. And that also means fears are just lessons we haven't acknowledged or practiced in our life. So let's understand that. Fear is not punishment, it's protection. Once you understand what it's trying to teach, it stops repeating itself. Let's continue the same example and I'm going to explain to you how it works. Let's suppose if you have fear of spider. And if I tell you that the lesson that you need to learn is spiders are not dangerous at all. In fact, if you snap your finger in front of a spider, the spider will think of you as family and it will go away. Now, I want you to observe this. What if this was the lesson? What if you knew how to handle this situation? And if this is the way that you can handle this situation, would you fear the spider? You wouldn't, because now you know how to handle this situation. So that means any kind of fear is lesson that we haven't learned. Fear only means that there is something that you do not know how to do in a situation like that. So your subconscious mind being clueless about how to deal with the situation triggers fear. So that means if we can practice the lesson and if we can understand what that lesson is, we can actually overcome fear and we can remove it. And we are going to talk a lot more about this in part 2 of this training program. But now, let's find out the root cause of your fear. And what we are about to do is I'm going to take you inside your subconscious mind to the point of origin when that fear of rejection was born. And if we can locate it, we can change it. So all I ask you is just sit down, relax, and I'm going to take you into a very short hypnosis. And this method is very precise. And I want you to observe how we can just locate the point of origin for your fear. So just sit down, relax, and let's begin. The first thing I want you to do is I want you to focus on this fear of rejection. If you can subconsciously focus on that, your subconscious mind knows what we are talking about. So I want you to focus on this fear of rejection. And if you are currently going through rejection in your relationship, you can focus on that. I want you to just focus on this fear. Now, as you focus on this fear, I want you to close your eyes and take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth and just relax. And I want you to focus on this fear of rejection. Just focus on this fear. And as you focus on this fear, I want you to ask your subconscious mind, where is this fear located inside your body? First impression. Whatever answer comes to your mind first is always the right answer. Do not change that. Your subconscious mind is incapable of lying. So, whatever it tells you is the right answer. Do not doubt that. Always go with the first answer that you get. So, which body part comes to your mind first? Now, whichever body part came to your mind first, I want you to do something for me. With the tip of your finger, I want you to physically touch that particular body part. Now, as you touch that particular body part, I want you to observe what color energy do you see over there? First impression, what color is it? Now, whatever color comes to your mind first is always the right answer. The reason we are trying to identify the color is because your subconscious mind stores all kind of information in different colors. So this is how your subconscious mind is storing this fear of rejection. Now, let's ask your subconscious mind, when was the first time you felt this fear in your life? Now, a memory from your past will just pop up. Always go with the first memory that you get. Do not change the memory. Focus on this memory. Now, whatever this memory is, it doesn't matter. I want you to focus on this memory. What is happening in this memory? Because this memory is the point of origin for your fear of rejection. This is when this fear was born, and this is the point of origin. This is that one particular memory that is currently sabotaging your relationships. Now, open your eyes. Now, we have just identified the point of origin for your fear of rejection. This is the point of origin, and this is what we are going to work with. This memory is really important. This is when your fear was born, and this is what we are going to resolve. Now, in part two, I'm going to dive deep into helping you understand the relevance of this memory and how we can remove the influence of this one particular memory. Now, if you observe, the memory that you currently have is the first time that you felt fear of rejection in your life, and this is when that fear was born. So if we can remove the emotional intensity of this one memory, we can completely transform our life. And that is what we are going to do in part two of this training program. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and let's go to part two of this training program.